right. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome in. Everybody get comfy and welcome in for today's Pep Talk, Productive Environment Podcast. I hope you are ready for a pep talk, especially if you are overwhelmed with your to-do list that may feel a bit too long. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So do you ever feel like your task list is growing faster than you can keep up? I do. You finally start getting organized and you capture the ideas. Those of you that have been around us know that we don't, most of you outside of our community have heard of something called a brain dump, right? Where you just get everything out of your head. We call it a capture quest. Because it's a way just to get everything out of your head, but it sounds better, in my opinion, than a brain dump. So it's a capture quest. And so you create your inbox, whether it's on a piece of paper, on the computer, a task list, the SOAR board, if you're in our community, you create that inbox and you move things into your task list, but somehow you still feel overwhelmed. Okay, well, I'm Andrea Anderson, CEO of Productive Environment Institute. And I'm going to talk to you about how to handle that, right? Like how to make sure that the tasks don't just get listed, but they actually get done as well. So let me go ahead and take this image off and I will talk to you guys directly. So let me know if you're in the chat, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever you're joining in from. Let me know if you're here. Let me know who's here. And let's talk about open loops. Yeah, Eds, if you'll put that back up. Too many open loops. You guys know what open loops are? Okay, it's postponed decisions. It's things that need to get done, right? Hey, Sandy, awesome. Glad you're here. Yeah, you guys go ahead and comment and let us know that you're here, that you're joining in with us. So Sandy's here. Awesome. Liz is here. Liz, awesome, from Davidson Organizing. Glad you're here. Look at y'all. And then Kathy Music, New Path Productivity. Liz and Kathy are both certified productive environment specialists. My task list definitely grows faster than I can complete it. Yeah, I don't know that there's anybody that's the opposite of that. I think we all do that, but we do have some things that we can, some strategies that we can use. So, hey, Maureen. Maureen's on YouTube. Awesome. Welcome. So this is a combination, the people I'm seeing. Hey, Ann. Are a combination of our SOAR to Success members. They're in our membership program. And also our certified productive environment specialists are here as well. So welcome to all of you. And if there's anybody new out there, we welcome you to our community. So I'm going to be talking with you about that task list. And I'm actually going to use, there's actually a scripture that speaks to this. Nancy's here. Hey, Nancy, good morning. Early morning for you. Let's see, it's noon for us here on the East Coast. But there is a scripture that speaks to what I'm going to talk about today. And I don't know how y'all pronounce it, but Habakkuk, however you say it, 2:2 is as a foundation, right? Have you guys you've heard this scripture, many of you. Write the vision and make it plain. Okay, write the vision and make it plain. I'm going to share how visibility changes the pace of work, why undefined tasks, not just postponed tasks, but undefined tasks create resistance and what's often missing from traditional productivity systems. And hey, Miss Carrie. Carrie's here as well. Awesome. Good to see you guys. So you're going to learn today why capture quest or brain dump, if you like that, why that matters, why getting things out of your head matters, what open loops are to your mental energy. Who knows what an open loop is? Go ahead and put it in the chat. What's an open loop? Why task lists keep growing, the difference between a task and a project, why scheduling focused work time matters. That's huge, you guys. Okay, we're going to talk about that. How visibility creates momentum. Okay, that's where that scripture comes in. Very, very wise words coming from the Bible, right? So, so basically, hold on one second. So let's start with two different translations of the Habakkuk 2:2. The New King James Version says, write the vision and make it plain on tablets, that he may run who reads it. Okay, our version of the tablet is our scoreboard. So yours might be a notebook. It might be your other task list, right? The Message Bible says this: write what you see. Write it out in big block letters so that it can be read on the run. Right? So there's a lot of wisdom in that. Write it down, make it visible, make it plain enough that movement becomes easier. That's what organizing is all about. Did you know that? That was in the Bible. That's amazing. So creating visibility so you can move forward without constantly rethinking everything over and over again. Okay. So most people, myself included, and many of the people I see on here today, are carrying far more than they realize. And you're carrying it in your head. No wonder. Are you tired? Do y'all feel tired sometimes? A lot of that is because you're carrying a lot of information around in your head, such as projects, conversations, follow-ups, ideas, paperwork, appointments. Is this resonating with anybody? Things you meant to do 3 weeks ago, things you're afraid to forget. When all of that is in your head, your brain never fully rests. Our brains need rest. That's why we teach the capture quest, right? And as I said before, you may know it as a brain dump. So capture quest gives your mind somewhere to put things besides your memory, okay? And it's not about getting older. My mom and Barbara always say, oh, my age, I can't remember. Well, I'm 20 years younger than they are, and I can't remember either. So it's not just the age. It's just we're carrying too much. And here is Demetrius checking in here. That's right. DFIT, Demetrius Ferris Island Trading is in the house. So awesome. Yes. And so it's basically a capture quest gives your mind somewhere to put things besides your memory. It's a trusted inbox. So what we need is a trusted inbox, okay, where that becomes a holding place for things such as tasks, reminders, ideas, commitments, notes, questions, projects, things you need to revisit later. That's a lot of stuff I just read off, right? I mean, I'm reading my notes. That's a lot. That's a lot that we're carrying in our heads, right? So the first win, and I congratulate all of you that are doing this, the first win is to get it out of your head onto something else. Now, in Demetrius's case, he uses his Apple Notes on his phone, okay? We use our scoreboard. We have an inbox in our scoreboard, systemized and organized with action and reference. There are a zillion task management systems on the market. You might be using one of those. We've used Workflowy for many, many years. That's a great place to capture information. You might just have a notebook, a real physical notebook that you write things down in and you're capturing that. It really doesn't matter what tool you're using. We do recommend a consistent place. Even if you capture things in multiple different places, like Barbara will capture things on an index card often. But then she comes and sits down at her desk and she inputs that into her scoreboard inbox. So maybe you're capturing things on the fly, out and about in the world, out in the wild. But then you come back and you put it in your main inbox. Okay, so that's really important because once you see it, you can work with it. Okay, but we've got to get it out of here and onto something or into something that you can actually work with. Okay. So this is where the Habakkuk verse connects so beautifully. Write the vision and make it plain, okay? And the vision can apply to your big picture vision for your life, your business, but it could also be the vision for that task getting completed, right? Make it plain. Why? So that he may run who reads it, which means so that we can take action when we read it, when we read the task. Okay, when we read what we've written down. So clear visibility changes the pace of our work. Okay, if you feel like you're not getting things accomplished, you're not moving through tasks and projects, it may be because the pace because you're scattered. You have things scattered across different locations. You don't have all the information that you need to do the work. So that's really important. So when everything is vague, hidden, scattered, or unfinished, even simple decisions feel difficult. Can anybody relate to that? Okay. And here's an example. You keep revisiting the same thoughts. Don't forget to fill in the blank. I need to, I should have. What was that thing again I was supposed to do? Why did I come in here? I know there's something important I'm supposed to be doing right now, right? So that constant mental reopening is exhausting. And that's what I mean by open loops, right? Those are all, everything I just read off, those are open loops. Your brain is like, oh, I need to do that. Oh, shoot, I forgot to do that. Oh, I need to, and those are open loops. And it definitely does wear you out. But when something is written down clearly in a trusted place, your brain stops working so hard to hold it, and you can actually relax and then actually do the work. And that creates energy for action, actually taking action and getting the task done, not just out of your head and written down or in your storyboard. Okay. But then something interesting happens. If that was the end of it, if that was enough, every person on here whose name I read off would be perfectly organized and productive, like 100%. And I guarantee you that every single one of them, myself included, would not say that we are 100% organized and productive. We're all a work in progress, but we're closer than we were before. But there's still something interesting that happens even when we have everything captured. Okay. So for example, we might start capturing consistently, and now the task list is growing, right? That's the next stage. And this is where many people get discouraged. I actually just had a conversation yesterday with one of our clients who is now on here. Yes. But if this is supposed to, yes. Okay. Carolyn's here. Hey, Carolyn. Glad you're here. Yeah, I was just having a conversation with one of our SOAR members yesterday about this. She has done a phenomenal job of capturing her tasks, thoughts, ideas, things she needs to do. But she said, but I'm not doing them. Okay, I've been there, done that. I do that. Many of you on here do that as well. So that's what we're going to talk about. I don't want you guys to get discouraged if that's what's happening. You've made the list, but then we got to figure out what's the next action. What do we do now? Right. Okay. So, but before you get to the what do, you might be thinking things like, this system isn't working. My system isn't working for me. I'm not getting the things done that I need to get done. I'm more behind than I thought. I'll never catch up. You guys ever feel like that looking at your list? But often the problem is not the capturing. We've got that down pretty good. I can capture something in a heartbeat. But the problem is defining what you've captured, okay? And in the SOAR program, you guys hear me harp on you guys about adding a verb at the front of something that you might have written down or added to your storyboard. And I'll give you, let's talk about this. I'll give you some examples. But the things that you're adding to your list are decisions. We talk about decisions a lot. Decisions waiting to be made, okay? What's another example of that? Postponed decisions, right? They are also vague projects. They may be emotional obligations, things that you need to do but don't really want to do, or it's difficult to do. Categories of responsibility as a parent, as an adult child of a parent, as a business owner, as a spouse. Lots of different categories of responsibility and things without a clear next action. So that's one of the main things we teach in SOAR. For example, and I want you guys to really take a look at your current list, your current to-do list that you have now, whether it's on a piece of paper, an index card, the SOAR board, or Workflowy, or anywhere else. If you have things like what I'm going to read off to you, then we're going to talk about this a little bit further. So examples such as just the word taxes, okay? Or the word photos. Do you have the word photos? Does anybody have the word photos on their list? And that's it, just the word photos. Or the word mom. Anybody just have mom on their list? Or website, or garage, or health, or workshop, or email. If you have those words like that on your task list, they're important, but they're not actionable yet. They still require thinking, and thinking takes energy. So that's another open loop. Even if you've put these things down, documented them, it's still an open loop, because what does that mean? And Nancy says, yes, pictures, taxes, garage. Yeah, those are good examples, right? Things we can all relate to. Yes, 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 all of the above. So they're still open loops. And many times, Maureen says, I have a couple of those words too. Yep. Many times you go back to your list that looks like that, and you say, what did I mean by that? Okay, what about garage? What about website? Is it review website? Is it edit website? Is it share website? What is it? What was it? And Kathy says, when I use single words like that, I can never remember what I'm supposed to do with it. Exactly. The good thing is, I want to give you credit for getting something. If something pops in your head and you document it either in your notebook or your storyboard or wherever, I want to give you credit for doing that. But as soon as possible, I want you to add some context to it, right? I want you to add context. Like, well, I'll give you some examples here in a minute, but just add some context, okay? Context could be the verb that goes in front. So I don't want to jump ahead of myself here. But one of the biggest problems today is that not just that people have too much to do, right? It's that there's no space to actually process, define, and complete what's on that list. So the tasks keep getting captured. I mean, it's better than not, but never fully worked. Okay, never fully acted upon. So the world trains us to stay reactive. Does this feel familiar? Answer the text. We're constantly reactive. Like, we might have this long to-do list over here, but now it's like, oh, we have to answer that text. Oh, I have to reply to that email. Oh, I have to jump into this meeting. I have to handle this interruption. I have to put out that fire. All of that takes over what you've listed on your task list, right? Now, maybe some of those things are on your task list. Okay, maybe. But a lot of times they aren't, and they just take over your task list. Meanwhile, the important things stay sitting quietly on the list. So this is why scheduling intentional time really matters. Okay, I want you guys to hear me. Not emergency time, not multitasking time, not if I get around to it time, but dedicated space, time to review your inbox, define your next actions, meaning put a verb in front of those words, make decisions, work or move projects forward, right? And complete what matters most. That is one, and I think everybody on here that I saw that has joined in live, they would agree with me on this, that's why our SOAR coaching and co-working sessions are so powerful, because that is dedicated time each and every week, like clockwork, where the rest of our week can be crazy busy and we're handling life and getting things done and doing things and being responsible for other people and taking care of business. Knowing that we have at least two opportunities each and every week to actually connect, to sit down and focus on the list and actually taking action and moving things forward. Okay. And maybe it's adjusting the list. Maybe that's the time spent adding the verb in front of the word. I mean, whatever, or processing your inbox. But people are often in the SOAR program, they're often surprised by how much progress they make simply by having protected time to focus on meaningful work with support and accountability. And Maureen says, yes, that dedicated time is so powerful. It is. We can have the best of intentions to get things done throughout the week, but without dedicated time set aside to do it, chances are it's not going to happen. So if you're not in our SOAR program, first of all, of course, I recommend that you join us. But otherwise, just at least open your calendar and schedule time once, twice, 3 times a week, if you can, to actually work through the things that are on your list. Okay. Work time. If you've got a bunch of tasks, put in your calendar, work on tasks, 2 hours. Like, that's time blocking. Block out 2 hours to work on tasks. Because if that's not happening, you're doing a great job of making the list, but then it's just sitting there. Okay. So sometimes the biggest breakthrough is not, yes, I'm going to say it, it's not a new app or another productivity tool. Okay. It is finally giving your important work a place on your calendar or in your timeline, instead of hoping that it somehow fits into leftover time. That's the biggest challenge, right? I mean, we can make all the lists in the world, but if we're not scheduling, blocking, creating time to implement those, to take action on those tasks, it's for nothing. I mean, I don't want to say for nothing. Like I said, it's better to get it out of your head, but still, if those tasks are not moving forward, there's something else we need to take a look at. And in fact, Barbara talks about this. She defines this as when you plan to do things on a certain day and you didn't do them, you don't just carry them over to the next day. That gets overwhelming. There's a lot of task tools out there that do that, and they just carry your tasks over automatically, and then they're red. They're flashing red, maybe not flashing, but they're red on your calendar as outstanding, and that just makes you feel worse. At least me, that made me feel worse when I used apps like that. And I think Google Tasks, I liked Google Tasks, but it did that. It would just automatically carry things over to the next day. Barbara says, don't do that. Actually take the time to look at each item and re-decide. If tomorrow is the next best time to do it, great. Move it to tomorrow, but it might not. Maybe you're going to an all-day conference, or maybe you're taking your kid to lunch, or you're doing something else the next day. So re-decide of when the next optimal time to do that is, instead of just moving it to somewhere else. So let's see what Demetrius says. Without my task list, I could never have grown my business. I really have to focus on the big picture. Small tasks would cause chaos in my brain. Small hinges open big doors. Joe Polish. Yeah. I don't know if Joe was the first one that said that, but we heard him talk about that on a video this week. And that is true. Remember that small hinges open big doors, and working on our tasks, creating that list is a small hinge, really. But when we take the action and move things forward, that's opening big doors for us. So thank you, Demetrius, for adding that in, because we actually talked about that quote, small hinges open big doors. And I wanted to include that. So thank you. So yeah, so the goal, now here's the other thing. The goal is not to complete every task immediately, because then you could literally spend all day, every day, just task, not really getting to the big important things, right? But the goal is definitely to define things clearly, reduce unnecessary mental load, make decisions intentionally, know where things belong, and identify the next true action, identify the true next action. Okay, what is the next action? Not just website, newsletter. What is it? What is the next action? So that then you can figure out how much time that's going to take, and then block it in your calendar to actually do it. Again, that's why the SOAR process matters. The first thing that happens in the SOAR program or in the SOAR methodology is capture. Capturing gets it out of your head. Then we implement the art of organizing information, which includes your tasks. Art means, you're making a decision now. You've captured the task, which could be, let's say, for example, it is update website or edit website. Okay, that's the task. Now, looking at that task, ask yourself, is this an action? Is this a reference? Thank you, Eds. Or is this a toss? So with that example, it's an action. Update website, right? It's a website. Demetrius, no. Can you tell us your task list for the week? I could. I probably could tell you my task list. This is one of them. Do PEPTalk on Tuesday. But the scoreboard helps you see where it belongs. So you've captured it. You've made a decision. Is it an action? Is it a reference? Or is it a toss? And the scoreboard helps you see where it belongs. So if it's a toss, that's easy. Delete, toss, get it out. If it's an action, it goes into an action section on the scoreboard. If it's a reference, it goes into a reference section on the scoreboard. And no matter where it goes on your scoreboard, you can find it again. You can search for it. If you forget where you put it, you can find it again. So again, that's where that visibility comes in. Visibility supports momentum. So you want to make sure you're seeing these things, you're looking at them. I always recommend with the scoreboard, and if you're using a different tool, that's fine. Maybe your calendar and your task list, open them up. Everybody opens their email, right? So if you come in to sit down to work, or you're on your phone, or you're on the move, most people open their email first thing in the morning. Well, I'm going to say open your calendar and your task list too. Open your scoreboard. First thing when you sit down, open your scoreboard and review. Is there something you're waiting for? We have a space for that. Waiting. Is there a project that you're working on and you just really, it's time just to focus on the next action, the one next action? There's a space for that. Is it something you just want to keep for future reference? There's a space for that. That's all in one place inside the scoreboard. That's the beauty of it. If you're not using the scoreboard, we invite you. In fact, Eds, if you'll put it up, we have a workshop coming up, depending on when you're watching this video. We have a workshop coming up this Thursday, workshop.productiveenvironment.com, and you will get a scoreboard at that workshop. So if you don't have one, you're listening to this, you're not a member of our SOAR program, and maybe you don't ever join the SOAR program, but you can come to this workshop, learn how to use it, learn our process, and then you have your own SOAR board. That's a start. But then the implementation comes by being in the group and working with each other and meeting at least twice a week to actually do the work. But yeah, we invite you to join our workshop. You will get your own SOAR board at that workshop and you'll learn how to use it. Otherwise, you're going to have multiple things to pull up. You're going to pull up your calendar. You're going to pull up your other task list, whatever that is. You might pull up Google Docs because you've got things saved in there. We do too. We save things in Google Docs, but we link to them from our SOAR board. So SOAR board is the mothership and all the other things are satellites. Okay. So here's a simple exercise for you guys today. I want to leave you with this. Open your task list in whatever form it is in and choose 10 items. Now, if you don't have 10 items, just however many you have, choose 10 items and ask yourself, first of all, is this truly a task? And if it's not a task, it needs to be, routed, right, to wherever it needs to go. It's something to keep for future reference, or it's part of a project, whatever. Define what it is. So is it part of a project? Is there a clear next action? Okay. And this is where I would say to you, if you see on your list, things like taxes, photos, mom, whatever, website, add a verb in front of it. What is it? What about taxes? What about mom? Maybe you need to put call in front of mom, right? So whatever it is, look at that list of your if it's a really long list, at least just choose 10. And then, maybe decide, does this belong somewhere? Where does it belong? Does it belong somewhere else? Or is it even still important? Okay. And then I want you to take one of those and I want you to rewrite one vague item into a visible next step. So look at your list. Do you see anything that's vague? And here's some examples. Photos. So let's say you just had photos. Photos becomes choose 25 photos for a family album folder. Okay, that's action. That's a clear, defined action. Website, just the word website, may become email homepage edits to webmaster. Mine would say email homepage edits to eds. Right? So whoever that is. All right. Taxes, just the word taxes. First of all, that's overwhelming. But the task, maybe the next action is download 2025 Stripe income report or download 2025 QuickBooks P&L, whatever. Instead of just taxes, make it an actual task. Okay. So small definition changes create movement. Movement is action. All right. So if your task list feels long right now, that does not mean you're failing. It doesn't mean your system is failing. It may just simply mean you're finally seeing what your mind has been carrying all along. And if you've been feeling overwhelmed, that's probably a big reason. And once you can see it clearly, you can begin making better decisions about what actually deserves your attention. Okay. And that's the heart of what we teach here at Productive Environment Institute. You guys heard lots of people that are actually on live are part of our team, our certified productive environment specialists. That's what we teach, helping people get organized so that they can accomplish their work and enjoy their lives. And as I mentioned earlier, a really great place to start, and you'll meet many of the people that are actually on here live. Here, let me go through y'all again real quick. You'll meet these people. You'll meet these people live. Many of them, I can't say 100%, but you'll meet these people live either on our workshop, our upcoming workshop, or webinars that we do. These are real people that have been through our program. They're using these systems. They're teaching these systems. And they are progressing. Are they perfect? No. Am I perfect? No. Is Barbara perfect? Maybe. No, she would tell you she's not perfect either. But we're a lot closer than we would be without these systems and tools. So I do want you, Eds, if you'll put it back up, workshop.productiveenvironment.com. Go check that out. Depending on when you're watching this video, we may have a live one coming up, or we may have a replay. It's still a private space where you get access to everything, including your own sourceboard and a workbook and additional resources. So definitely check that out. And we'll look forward to seeing you guys there or on a future pep talk. Oh, since she's on here, let me go ahead and give a shout out to my guest next week. You guys are going to want to be on this live. Liz Fackelman of Davidson Organizing is going to be our pep talk guest next week. And I know what I want her to talk about. I'm not sure 100% that's what she's going to talk about, so I don't want to say it here. But she's got some expertise that comes up quite often in our SOAR conversations with people needing help with a certain thing that she has expertise in. So when I confirm what she's speaking on, I will announce it to you guys. Make sure you're on our email list. And how you do that is either register for the workshop or go to lesscluttermorelife.com. There's a free 12-minute video there, and that will get you onto our email list so that you will get notified of our upcoming Pep Talk podcasts. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We appreciate you being here, and we will see you on the next one.